happy Tuesday to you, and welcome to Screen Junkies Universe. It is a delight to be here today with Spencer Gilbert.
Hey now.
Hey, Dan Murrell.
Hello.
What's going on, you guys?
I'm beverageless as always.
Beverageless. We are beverageful. We will talk about our beverages shortly, but first, the news, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tuesday, and that means it's time to talk about The Rock. Jungle Cruise Control. The trailer for Jungle Cruise came out today.
That's the sequel. Jungle 2 Cruise Control.
Yeah. One hopes.
Yeah.
Although Speed 2 Cruise Control was on a boat. So does this mean that Jungle Cruise 2 will be on a bus?
Yes.
Great. That's excellent.
Like a mine cart. Time
Love
to keep
it.
the period. Yeah.
So this is the first trailer for Disney's Jungle Cruise released, starring The Rock and Emily Blunt. Peanut butter and jelly, as we call them. Like, what a weird pairing. We're going to get into that. First and foremost, what'd you think of the trailer, Dan? Are you boarding?
Am I boarding the Jungle Cruise? I don't want it to sink. Apparently they're sinking now.
Oh, yeah, they're very dangerous.
I am interested by the personalities involved. The movie itself looks like pretty generic summer noise, but I like Emily Blunt, and I like The Rock. So if it's a personality-driven action movie, then it could be like the first Jumanji, which was pretty standard fare, but
super fun.
Had a great personalities, great stars. So yeah, I don't know, we'll see. I think it's gonna live or die on whether they capture the essence of The Rock and Emily Blunt, or whether they are squandered in a forgettable role.
I like. What's your take on this pairing? Because I like them both a lot too, and they're both very charming, but in extremely distinct ways. You know, The Rock to me is a very classic action guy. He knows how to deliver one-liners. He understands that underneath every moment in the movie, he should be having a little bit of fun. So it's kind of like you get that catharsis, which I think is really important for action movies. But she's such a good actress. There's a part of me that is there, which isn't to say that he's not. But there's a part of me that's like, is there a slight... He's aware of the movie that he's in the whole time. She is always fully embedded in her role. Is there a slight disconnect?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. I think disconnect is the right word for it. That's how I felt when I was watching the trailer. Mostly because The Rock doesn't look like a guy who's been... trolling around a river on a boat.
He's healthy
for his whole life. He seems like a guy who's had only the best.
He's wearing a little white hat.
He looks kind of like The Rock in a Halloween costume, to be honest. Like he dressed up like a sailor boy.
I mean, he's a sailor man.
I'm unfavorably comparing this to the African Queen with Humphrey Bogart and
Katharine
Hepburn. Yeah. Where that seems like the dynamic of like an odd couple forced to go on this perilous cruise together. But Humphrey Bogart looked like a drowned river rat, and that was what offset, her kind of poise and her glamour was his. Like they're an odd couple. These two look like they could date. They could meet outside an Equinox.
Easily. One imagines that at some point they did.
At some point they may have and said, hey, we should do this movie together. I don't know. I guess and then the disconnect, like you said, with her commitment and his kind of self-awareness, that annoys me a lot, or is annoying me more and more, because I feel like Disney and Marvel is really leaning on that for humor. And a little bit of it is okay, and sometimes it makes more sense than others, like in Jumanji, to be self-aware of the situation and like, this is crazy, like this is like a video game, because that makes sense for the story. They're people trapped in a video game. For that rope swinging sequence to be like, this usually works in movies that we're in right now, like, I don't know. It seems like on the screenwriter's point to be like, I couldn't think of anything better. So
see, I kind of like that gag, but then I liked that gag when it was in Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull as well. Maybe I just like gags where people are swinging on something and then they don't land on the thing. I have a very specific sense of humor, I guess. I think we're underestimating the comedic abilities of Emily Blunt.
No. To be really clear, I have seen The Devil Wears Prada, and this woman is hilarious. I don't underestimate how funny she is, but I think Emily Blunt, to crystallize what Spencer was saying, I kind of agree. the kind of comedic actress she is the kind that commits so fully to the circumstance and the character that that's where the comedy comes from. The Rock is like an action star. He's a little bit outside of the circumstances. He's a little bit laughing with you the whole time. And it's just, it doesn't mean it can't work together. It's just a slightly different style, but I think she's hilarious.
Yeah, but I would also say that was sort of the dynamic that Rachel Weisz had with Brendan Fraser in The Mummy, and it worked out well. They were a good team because Rachel Weisz is a very serious actor and great dramatic performances, but also was very capable of sort of towing that line between, being with this like larger than life action star personality, but also getting her digs in, and I don't know. I think that Emily Blunt can do anything, I guess. I have an unshakable confidence in Emily Blunt.
I agree. I have an unshakable confidence in Emily Blunt. I want to be really clear. I was questioning him being paired with her. Because, Humphrey Bogart, for example, and Katharine Hepburn were both equally matched as actors. They were very different actors and were very different stylistically, but they were equally matched as actors. I love The Rock, and I think that he is charming in anything. The movie looks fun. It looks very silly. Extremely silly.
If you throw The Rock a fastball down the middle, he's going to hit a home run every time.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can throw him a curveball.
Yeah.
And he might take a big swing.
Right. Also, he does look very healthy for being on a riverboat. So I would just like to see...
The outfit is pretty... the fanny pack is now the second most ridiculous outfit I've seen The Rock wear, because that is pretty... That's a little much. Was the hat necessary?
Can we see the outfit? We'd like to see that.
It's a little overboard. Him driving a boat effectively signifies to me that he is a ship captain. I don't need the little pip pip cheerio cap.
He looks like he should be on like a can of oatmeal.
Yeah, he looks like a mascot.
But maybe
he looks like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
A little bit. He really does. Should we pull him out? We usually have him in here weirdly, like facing the wall in a very unnerving Blair Witch manner. He should be somewhere in the studio.
Oh, yeah.
I think if there's a scene where we go down to the second tier of the boat and there's just a whole room full of chickens for him to slaughter and eat, I will feel comfortable.
Sure.
A lot of steamed fish, dehydrated snake protein.
Sure.
And
those are all jungle animals.
Yeah.
All these old-timey trapezoidal barbells for leftovers.
Then I think we'll feel good about it. I think it looks very silly but kind of fun. They are an interesting pairing to me, and I agree with you. Emily Blunt, I think, could do anything, literally anything. She could probably run the world. No, that's too far. No, let's just.
The accent does a lot of work there,
for her in terms of
for every British person. We think they're so much smarter because
she doesn't have a British accent in this.
No, I know, but in life.
Oh, very good, very good. Speaking of accents, Black Widow too. The trailer came out for that.
Final trailer.
The woman that I am betrothed to, Florence Pugh, stars alongside ScarJo in a sisterly relationship. There was a little more humor, a little more kind of like previously we hadn't seen that Marvel quirk. There's a little more in this trailer with the family dynamics.
Yeah. I didn't mean to bring up Rachel Weisz twice in a row, but
I thank you for it.
I like this idea of like David Harbour, Rachel Weisz, Florence Pugh, and Scarlett Johansson as this like sort of oddball family. I agree because it looked, but they do this every time where the first trailer looks very dour, and then the second trailer is you get a little bit of the humor.
Oh man, the first trailer for Age of Ultron, I thought it was going to be a horror show, but it turned out to be one of the goofier.
It was in a different way.
Yeah, in a different way.
And even Ant-Man, like remember the first trailer for Ant-Man was like, Scott, you gotta be the hero your daughter wants you to be. And it's all like very dramatic. And then the second one was like, oh no, this is funny, Scott.
Well, and then but do we have to keep the name? Like it's what it ended up being. God forbid we have a serious moment.
I thought it looks cool, and I like the idea of, and I know that this is Taskmaster's bit, but seeing it in action, the idea of like somebody who studied all of the Avengers and can fight her using like every style of all of her friends is a cool.
A lot cheaper.
It was a lot
cameos.
cooler. Yeah, a lot cheaper than getting the Avengers. But it was cool to see in action. I like how they're sort of portraying it.
Remind me, did I miss this? Does he scissor kick?
Well, he or she. We
don't know.
You don't know who's beneath the mask.
I thought we did know.
I don't think we know for sure. There's no confirmation. Yeah. We have some clues, but Rachel Weisz was rumored to be under there, so I don't want to say for sure who it's going to be. But if he or she watched any Black Widow footage, that'd be the first thing.
Which they show the Taskmaster
watching
watching Iron Man 2,
Yeah.
which good
There's a
for
lot of,
you,
like,
because
systems in it.
I don't like to do that, but the Taskmaster was doing that. It's fine. But yeah, watching Black Widow fight. So I would love to see.
I mean, there's going to be some scissor kicks.
I
There will be
think
a head scissors.
Taskmaster is we're gonna see Taskmaster jumping and scissoring
Yeah.
somebody's neck area.
Scissor to scissor.
Yeah, they
What does
might-
that look like? How?
They
Okay.
flip,
It was just.
Yeah, if they
And
both
then-
tried to move at the same time with their
Is it like a?
just get
Did they just get tangled up?
Yeah, they
did
become like a
not-
rat king, and then they have to
Yeah.
stop and untangle their own legs from each other.
Does it quickly become kind of like Human Centipede?
Yeah, that's how it ends. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah, spoiler. But yeah, I like the fake I don't know, Russian family that she has. It does kind of undercut her endgame stuff of like, you know, I didn't have anyone before you guys, and you're my family, and
Except for these assholes.
except for these assholes. Yeah, sucks to be them. But I assume they're all dead.
By the end of it.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean,
Seem.
don't we think like Florence Pugh is going to be a bigger character in the MCU post this movie? Aren't we assuming they're smart enough to snap her up?
sense.
Yeah. Get some Pew in your life.
Yeah.
This is the first Phase 4 movie, right? Which is
well,
eh?
but it's technically a prequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
So I don't know-
But does it? Because you also saw Thunderbolt Ross, and he looked old.
Yeah.
But is that? And they have the technology to de-age everyone.
They do, but
But it is a prequel.
I think
It
we're gonna.
happens, like, in
it'll be
between
like a
Civil
Captain
War.
America, where it's like we're forward, and then we're back for the most of the movie.
forward. What does it just show her laying on the rocks? And then
Yeah. But you're wondering how I got here.
Or is this an alternate? Is this an alternate?
Oh, that could be.
Alternate
Yeah.
timeline?
Oh yeah, it could be. Oh, let's
Yeah.
have your cake and eat
Didn't
it
we
too.
theorize about? I forget what we theorize about sometimes, but didn't we theorize that in addition to Loki, that possibly Black Widow would have an alternate timeline?
Yeah,
think we
this
had,
could be
yeah.
a Leeloo Dallas multiverse situation.
Yeah.
But
I did not ironically think yesterday that like the framing device could be like she's falling and well no like and they have your
Life
light
is
flashes
flashing.
before your
Light is
eyes.
flashing
Yes.
and then
How would you
Florence
feel
Pugh
about that,
catches her at the bottom.
How would you feel about that if that was the device? I don't think I'd feel good about
I
that
don't think
device.
I feel too great about it, but you know.
But the point of bringing up Phase 4 was like, I kind of forgot that this is the kickoff because I'm now thinking Marvel's next step is all these Disney Plus series. Like,
Right.
that's where I feel like they're going to do the bulk of the setup. So this seems like kind of an outlier, but maybe it will tie in and set up the next 10 years of movies, but it doesn't seem like that for now.
I don't think so. I think that this is kind of like a take a breath moment. So that's where it's either, and if this has been confirmed and you guys are yelling at us in chat, Ryan, yell at me live. But that either this is, I thought it was a prequel, or it's an all
Yeah.
Yeah.
between Civil War and Infinity
yeah.
War. So this is just like a take a breath.
Yeah.
We've got some Black Widow stuff to deal with. We'll get back to the other stuff.
Right.
We kicked the can down the road too long, and now it's weird, but we're doing it anyway.
We're doing it anyway. But I love the Florence Pugh of it all. I just think she's like the actress of her
note.
generation
Yes.
currently.
Yeah.
She's the Emily Blunt of now.
Pew crew.
Also, Emily Blunt is Emily
I was
Blunt.
to say, yeah.
Yeah.
They should be in a movie together.
Whoa.
What?
Blunt and Pew.
Blunt and Pew. I'd watch
All right.
that.
We'll watch.
Every time they say the Red Room, though, I just think of The
50
Simpsons.
Shades of Grey.
50
Oh,
Shades
I think
of
it's-
Grey.
Yeah, The Simpsons.
Over there.
You know,
I-
the Red Room of Pain from The Simpsons.
I also was thinking of the Red Room of Pain.
No, I've excised those films from my memory.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of mashups.
Taskmaster. This is very BDS.
It's
Everyone's wearing
it's
leather.
A thirsty,
Everyone's in leather.
It's like on paper, it's a thirsty movie.
Yeah.
It's a thirsty movie.
Yeah.
It's not the movie's fault, but it's thirsty. Thank you guys so much for subscribing, sharing, commenting, hitting that bell. Make that ding, 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 ding. We appreciate it. However, Roth would now like to message our Corona shutdown. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Ron Burgundy. Hey, there's a virus. It's going around the world. We're not laughing about it. We're not taking it lightly. And we're so not laughing about it and not taking it lightly that Fandom has instituted a, as much as we can, work from home policy, which we are adhering to right here on Screen Juggies. So as a result, we will be doing a bunch of coming in to get you that news, to get you that dose of SJU, but with some less frequency. So we will be doing a number of pre-tapes, which means over the next few days.
Less frequency live.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Less frequency live.
Yeah.
Let's get the message right, woman. Good. So that means over the next few days, you'll be seeing a fair bit of the three of us because we're about to pre-tape a bunch in a row.
Get used to these clothes.
Get used to these. Get used
Settle
to these
in.
mugs. And then that will kind of be the cadence over the next few weeks where we'll have some other people coming in. So you might see some other fan favorites and guests here and there. But over the next few weeks, you're going to see a lot of me and Joe and Dan and Spencer in some combination as we pare back how many people are in the office and how often we're in the office with respect to wanting to do our part to stop the spread of this virus. So that is what's happening. That's the straight dope. But we're going to make it fun. We're going to make it enjoyable. We're going to have some fun topics. We have some later.
I mean, we're taping 5 today, so by that 4th or 5th one, it's just going to be madness.
Yeah.
It's going to be like cats.
I mean, I think we're there.
Yeah. And then Spinny and I have commentaries. And then charting.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Charting's
boy.
last up today. Get ready. It's going to be toasty.
Yeah. So strap in for a lot of fun and enjoyment, but bear with us because we're doing a bunch of these in a row. So who knows what we might say. That's kind of an evergreen comment also.
Yep.
I'm going to take a couple of fan questions and then we're going to end on some sad news. Uh-oh.
What?
I'm so sorry. Ita, Iyta, Ita
Quiroz.
Quiroz, thank you. Ita Quiroz, and if I mispronounce that, I'm legitimately asking for your forgiveness, asks, considering your love for The Masked Singer, thank you. If you guys were participating, what would be your dream costume and what song would you sing?
That's tough. I guess you just got to go to like your karaoke go-tos.
Okay.
Kiss by a Rose, Seal.
Sing a phrase.
Yeah. I could do John Denver, Thank God I'm a Country Boy.
Okay. Sing a phrase.
Sing a phrase?
Yeah.
Well, life on the farm is kind of laid back. Ain't nothing old country boy like me can hack. Early to rise, early in the sack. Thank God I'm a country boy.
What's your outfit?
Yeah. I guess I would dress like a gigantic ear of corn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of took one of my ideas,
Oh, okay.
oddly enough.
Sorry.
Because I was just going to dress as a giant bandana or a banjo,
banjo,
an instrument itself, and then
Yeah.
I was going to do Bobby McGee.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Busted flat in Baton Rouge, waiting for a train, feeling near as faded as... Okay, Dan.
Yes. Well, I'm with Spencer. You got to go with your karaoke go-tos. So my first song would be My Own Worst Enemy by the band Lit,
Yeah.
which is oftentimes my karaoke go-to.
Dun, dun.
Yeah. Also the name of a short-lived Christian Slater show from on NBC, or at least they use that as the theme song. I mean, I feel like if I dressed as a shark because I like Jaws, then everybody would know it was me.
Yeah, you
So that's
gotta
too
obscure the
obvious.
message a little bit.
Yeah.
I
Like a
trying to think
corn.
the ones that I like. Yeah, like I like the random food. Pizza.
Pizza.
You like? I
Haven't
mean,
done
but
pizza yet.
pizza's notably good.
I'd be
That
pizza.
could be a lot of people.
I would be pizza.
Yeah.
Plus,
Yeah.
who wouldn't vote for pizza?
Yeah.
Everybody would vote. You know what? I'm gonna I'm switching to. I'm gonna. You know what? I'm staying with banjo.
Yeah.
Yeah, staying with
So
banjo.
pizza,
Committed.
My Own Worst Enemy, Lit. would
All
be mine.
right. Bobby McGee, banjo.
Thank God I'm a Country Boy by John Denver as a corn, I think would throw a lot of people off because like that's probably the only country song I know. So
Yeah.
I think people would be really thrown by it.
But if you got to the second week, what would?
Now what?
Well, then I'd have to go back to like my wheelhouse, like No Diggity.
Yeah.
That's a good karaoke
Sing a
song.
phrase.
I would love to see. I would love to see an ear of corn singing "No Diggity."
You have to.
Has the world been? I don't know the words. Bring what you heard. Oh,
Really?
rolling with the fatness.
I like the way you work it.
Well, the chorus,
no
yeah,
diggity.
sure. I like the
bang.
It's a good
I like
karaoke
the way-
song if
Yeah.
you have the lyrics in front of you.
What
I
about-
love that song, but I just think of Lil Penny playing the piano in the video.
What's song number 2?
Or was it Lil Penny? Yeah, it was the puppet, right?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
In the video for No Diggity, there's
is
a
Lil
puppet
Penny in that?
playing the
Wow.
piano, and I'm pretty sure it was the Lil Penny
Penny?
puppet from the commercials, but
Yeah.
I could be wrong. It was definitely a puppet. I will say that.
Ryan, fact check.
I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay.
Thank you, Ryan.
Ryan,
only the
have you
important
ever
questions
heard
here
of No
on SJU.
Diggity?
Yeah, I'm familiar with No Diggity.
He's familiar with it. He just heard about it just now.
I'm versed in No Diggity. Frick Hendrickson asks, Mamma Mia. That's another one I would do.
that's good.
What's your favorite obscure action set piece and why? I thought this one was hard.
It's
This
tough.
is hard.
It was hard.
Are any of the set pieces from Equilibrium? Is that obscure enough? The Christian Bale has no emotions Matrix gunfighting movie.
Sure.
To some people, the thing
So,
is that
yeah.
everything is obscure to someone and
Right.
obvious to someone else.
Right. Johnny Mnemonic, is that obscure enough? Where they have the little laser whips? That's cool.
So pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of anything that I thought was truly obscure. Where I also really liked the action. So I brought up the Keanu Reeves directed. I think I've talked about this one before. Man from Tai Chi. Keanu Reeves both starred. I'm gonna make sure double check my math here. Man from Tai Chi. You brought it up. You brought up The
jingle.
Masked Singer, so it's not my fault. Directed by Keanu Reeves, starring Keanu Reeves. This was a really, really fun action movie, and there's a great sequence in this very strange hallway-like room. There's some amazing action sequences and fight scenes in this movie. It's a pretty good movie. He's a straight-up villain, which he rarely does. So I don't think this is totally obscure, but maybe lesser seen. And it's one that I really enjoy, and I encourage you to go enjoy if you like to watch people beat each other up
Sure.
elegantly, which I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can throw another one out there if you're still thinking.
Well, I was just thinking of that Lee Marvin movie, Point Blank, which was the basis later for Ransom. The movie with
trauma.
It
Mel
traumatized
Gibson.
me. Yeah.
That movie
No, sorry,
traumatized
not
him.
Ransom. Payback.
Oh.
Different Mel
Yeah, makes
Gibson
sense.
money themed
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Payback, I believe. But it's not action packed, but it has several sequences in it that I'm like, oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, a Bullet is known for that car chase, but there's actually a few good action sequences in Bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah, 60s and 70s it was before action was really a quote unquote genre. I think for a lot of folks, it was like drama or comedy. But there's some good dramas from the 70s that have pretty cool action in them too, like The French Connection. Like
Yeah, I was
that's an
just
action
gonna say.
sequence.
I was just gonna say The French Connection. Like they had some great car chases.
Yeah, great car chases.
In the 70s specifically, I feel like car chases they've just fallen in a rut. It's like that point in the relationship where it's like, we're just
else
kind of
can you do
doing
with
the
a car?
routine,
Yeah.
like. Except for the Fast and the Furious, I mean, like with the very clear exception of the Fast and the Furious, which knows how to
the only
keep
ones
it
putting
kinky.
in the effort,
They're
yeah.
trying,
They're trying.
they're putting in the effort to save the relationship.
Yeah.
And I, as the other member of that relationship, appreciate it. Good. Sad news: Max von Sydow passed away at the age of 90, and so we're going to talk about his career. And we were talking about it earlier. My God, he had an expansive career. Like it's hard to pick your favorite movie or your favorite performance because A, whether the movie's good or not, he's always amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And B, there's so much to choose from.
Yeah.
That said, you want to call out some?
Well, I mean, it's like Ingmar Bergman and
Yeah.
freaking from Swedish cinema to America. It's like it's crazy the amount of different stuff that he was into. Star Wars,
Yeah.
the thing because a lot of people talk about Father Merrin and a lot of those roles, but I was actually looking through his filmography. I'd forgotten about how many. It just goes to show you when you have an actor with a lot of presence, they can make a forgettable role actually memorable. Because I was going through and I looked at Minority Report, which is a good movie, but he plays like the boss character who could be just a very forgettable villain, but he brings a lot of weight to that role. And then Judge Dredd, again, like this sort of like the old timer guy who, the movie's not great, but he brings like a legitimacy to it, because he was such a good actor that like anything he was in got like, to me, an extra level of like importance, because it's like, well, Max von Sydow said he was going to do it, and I didn't know he was It says he was the voice of Vigo in Ghostbusters 2, which is blowing my mind.
Which you said, and first of all, did I mispronounce his name? If I did, forgive me. That's what you mentioned, what?
I had the entire life. I
did not know.
That's what it says. That he was uncredited as the voice of Vigo the Carpathian from Ghostbusters 2. Which, if that's true, like that's
reality.
That's like a what is that called? That effect? The
Mandela.
That's like a Mandela effect thing of like.
No. The Mandela effect is like we all agree that something it reads a certain way, is pronounced a certain way, or has happened, but it hasn't. So you're talking about the butterfly effect.
Well, no, the butterfly effect is like one thing happens and it reverberates. It's like I shifted into yes, it's Ashton Kutcher. It's like I shifted into a different reality where something was true that was not true until this morning when I read that, because I never knew that.
Yeah.
So, but just the idea of like he was in so many amazing films, but because he was so good, any like Judge Dredd less than amazing film that he was in, he added just that extra bit of legitimacy, so it felt like a real movie.
Yeah, could not agree more. Even in his relatively small role in Star Wars, I think it was impactful. But also by that time he has the gravitas to just show up on screen, and you're like, quiet down.
Respect. Quiet children.
So how about for you? You mentioned a great film.
Well, yeah, for me it was not even a rare young role, because he did act a lot in Sweden, and I don't know, he was working before this, but as a young actor, but in The Seventh Seal, it's like the one that crossed over. It's been parodied a million times, but I do recommend that people actually take the time, if you're a classic film fan, to go out and see it. It's haunting. It's an absolutely haunting film. He does play chess with death throughout the whole thing, so it is that kind of a movie, and there is a lot of let's say philosophical musings about redemption and faith and loyalty and death and life and all the big heavy subjects. It's based on an Ingmar Bergman play that he then directed. It feels like that, but you are always grounded, and the emotion, and you're feeling everything that he's feeling just on his face. He had one of the more expressive. He was one of the more expressive actors you've ever seen, and it's crazy to look at him as a young man in this movie, and I guarantee you it'll stick with you as it did for me.
I was rewatching a number of old movies recently, and I was watching a bunch of Hitchcock. So I watched Dial for Murder again, and I've seen them all before, and Rear Window. But what amazed me is, like, other than some stuff that does with a modern lens look a little hokey, and like Rear Window, and like how they catch the person is usually a little hokey. Other than that, it amazes me how much these films hold up and how patient they are with the audience. Like, we just don't trust audiences at all to sit and listen to a character or why. Like, a lot of the times in Rear Window, nothing is being said, and nothing really is directly happening. It's like a building, and there's so much patience that we don't have anymore.
Do you know they've been actually, slight diversion, they've been actually measuring, there's been a clinical study going on for decades measuring our attention span, and I think since the 50s it's gone from 12 seconds to 8 seconds.
Was it really only 12 seconds in the 50s?
Yeah, I mean, like the average of like just how often it would take for people to look at something before they got distracted. From 12 to 8. I mean, we're losing ground.
So there's a movie that's out right now called First Cow. I know. But it's fantastic. It really is good. And it's paced so slowly. I don't think it's for I think it's going to be tough for a lot of audiences, but it's really great. And it's interesting because I think what you're talking about is also dependent on kind of where you're at in your day.
Sure.
I currently have 52 windows open. I walked into that movie after a really, really hectic day with just lots of inputs, and it was hard for me, even though I was loving the film, to not feel impatient. And it was a really weird feeling where it was like, I think this is great, but I'm just like my mind can't stop spinning about everything I've got to do. And that's just, I think, how everybody feels. It's just constant inputs. It's a lot to process, Dan.
Yeah, it was weird. I was watching last night just because I've been doing watching a lot of other movies and taking notes and stuff, just to sort of break up the pace. His Girl Friday, which I'd never seen.
It's great.
And it was amazing to me that like it has like 3 sets. And it was like this thing of just like, you know, filmmakers at that time are like, yeah, I can make it work in 3 sets.
That's the one with like the reporter,
Yes.
like his ex, and
it's his
that one
ex-wife.
Casablanca has very few sets.
Yeah. But it's like this idea of, now it's like even in a lot of dramas, it's like, gotta go. What's the next thing? What's the next set piece? And this idea of like, now the dialogue in that movie is rat-a-tat, so quick. But the idea of like trusting the audience to be, and it was based on a play, which is one of the reasons I think why, but the idea of like, oh, we don't have to really spice it up as far as like, we got to go somewhere new. We got to keep people interested. It was like, no, we're going to do a little 3-act play in like these 3 different sets. And we're going to trust our actors and trust the audience to actually pay attention and enough that they're not going to get bored with just like, and you were talking about like Rope, the Hitchcock movie, which is in one room, and it's great. But it's
one of the great murder movies.
How would that movie have been received today when people are just like, are we gonna leave this room?
No, I mean, Rope is like, I love Rope, first of all, but Rope is 100% a psychological thriller in the sense that it truly is like, I think people use that phrase to mean like, what's happening, but a psychological thriller, like this is the movie about why, why did these people do this thing? Why did they behave? It's literally about their psychology, and the damage that there is in the psychology. Plus it's got Jimmy Stewart. As does Rear Window. And a lot of Rear Window is really, it's like him looking out of the window.
Oh, no! Look at that.
You know what?
Look at the weather. It's going to rain.
Got away from there. Hi.
I love Rear Window. It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's like, all right, where'd the dog go?
God damn it.
Burying a bone.
But the dog!
I know.
Dan.
I know. It's sad.
It's heart-wrenching,
It is heart-wrenching.
It's a great film. Anyway, we have the 2 lessons that we can take away is we have lost patience. We have too many inputs, 3 lessons, and also watch First Cow. I swear it's like a really, really, really great movie about American myth-making.
Not the first time today you're going to hear about, last time I should say, you're going to hear about First Cow. I'll tell you that.
Oh, is it in charting?
Wow.
How did it do?
It was the Per Theater winner.
That's actually great. Kelly Reichardt is the director, I believe. And she typically makes movies that are like in rural settings, rural settings, and are very slow. But this one is really, really great. It's did you catch it? Did you see the screening?
I did not.
Anyway, it really is like a. This sounds so cheesy when you say it, but it is set kind of in on the frontier, and it's like America when it's like really truly unconquered and fresh. But it's really interesting take on resources and how class and how it is really difficult to actually achieve that dream, even when it appears to be all available to you. And all of this is done within and how the rich kind of hoard just for the sake of hoarding, and all of this is done in the lens of like stealing the milk from a cow of a rich landowner and then making biscuits and selling them as a matter of industry and then selling them back to this dude. And like, you will not believe how tense watching someone milk a cow can be when you're like, if they get caught, they're dead, they're done for. Sorry.
I mean, I'm sure that's awesome, but I was kind of hoping.
It's great. It really is.
I was kind of hoping it was a movie about a cow president.
Yeah, it is. Well, stay tuned for the 3rd act twist.
Oh,
yeah. All right, and also stay tuned for more of us, like I promised. Yakking away tomorrow, but
and
today,
then the next day,
and then
today,
but also
always today.
Today.
So if anything happens tomorrow,
it's today.
Not gonna happen.
Don't know about it.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you for joining.
Should we just cover Batman news just
in case?
How about that Batman picture, guys?
Oh my God! We'll do that next time.
Yeah.
Batman.
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 Okay. I spoiled it.
Batman.